I do not believe in trickle-down housing. Building housing for the ultra-wealthy will not result in housing for working and middle-class people.
Mayoral challenger Yousef Rabhi and members of his slate share a fundamental misunderstanding of the housing market, and this is one of the most critical issues to our region. You might have other reasons for voting for them, but speaking as an urban planner, a 20-year housing advocate, former council member, and planning commissioner, I can assure you that housing affordability should not be one of them. I'll explain why in a minute. For me, I'm supporting Mayor Taylor because during his tenure, the number of permanently affordable housing units in Ann Arbor is tripling in the pipeline, largely because of the affordable housing millage that he championed. But just as importantly, rents in the private market, which is where 95% of our housing is, are falling at the fastest rate we've seen in over 15 years. I write about this a little bit more in this Medium article. Rabhi and his slate, by contrast, have no plans to expand permanently affordable housing without going back to the voters to ask for more taxes. And what he says at the beginning of this clip about the private market is a wholesale rejection of a large body of evidence-based research about housing. It points us toward the same housing scarcity politics that have plagued other cities and made their rents go up. Rabhi has used the pejorative phrase trickle-down housing in nearly every debate, and there's a really good reason why that alarms housing advocates and researchers. First, it's a deliberate misnomer for housing filtering, which is a real and powerful effect where housing gets more affordable over time. Second, it's a cynical attempt to tie that process to failed Reagan-era tax cut politics. Third, it's a signal that these candidates are willing to oppose new housing just because wealthier people tend to live in it while it's new. Housing filtering is real. It's why more than 90% of the truly affordable units that people actually live in today were built by the private market, not through government subsidy. It's affordable because it's older. We absolutely need more subsidized affordable housing. But even if we tripled or quadrupled it, the private market would still be providing most of the homes that people can actually afford. And if we don't allow a lot more housing to be built today, it won't ever have the chance to become tomorrow's affordable housing. We can't stop wealthier people from moving to our cities, but if we want to keep them from bidding up older houses and apartments, the best strategy is to allow enough new building that they have someplace to go. Ann Arbor is finally doing that as it catches up with the huge influx of U of M students and staff. And that's the reason I cringe every time I hear the phrase trickle-down housing. It's a mocking, fake progressive rhetorical shortcut that tries to dispense with decades of housing research without engaging with it. We've seen what can happen when science deniers take over fields like public health. The same thing can happen with housing. Cities that reject evidence-based housing policy become more expensive. And it's working families and renters, not wealthy newcomers, who bear the cost.